Hey guys, and welcome to the Week 3 League Managers Note. As always, I am joined today by Joel Gibson. How we doing today, Joel?
Well, we've been better, but we're doing all right. We're going to be better next week, I'll tell you what.
Excellent. Well, as always, I'm the commish, aka Mr. Modest in here. Just a couple of things I'd like to address. First of all, I'd like to address you directly, Joel, for calling me out last week, telling me that I'd have to make a public apology. We'll get to that, but I just want to say that I would have given my apology at the start. I had it written. I was going to give it a heartfelt apology. Luckily for me, my team showed up, and I don't have to do that. So we'll see what I got in store coming up here.
Yeah, you pulled it up by the seat of your pants.
Hey, a win's a win. A win's a win. All right, let's get right into it here. We'll start with the champs matchup as always. This week, we actually have to start on more of a somber note here. Matt wins against Adam.
Boo.
6-4-1. Matt's team can score. I mean,
Yeah.
700 points is a lot. That's it. That's all I got.
Yeah.
3 double-doubles. Yawn.
I'm still not particularly impressed with Matt's team. He's been pretty active on the wire, picked up some guys. He seems to like them Rockets role players, House and Tucker. But Adam is looking, you mentioned earlier in the week to me, Adam is looking like an early season winner with pulling off the Steph Curry trade.
Yeah, holy cow. That's the exact thing I was going to bring up. I do want to note here, a lot of people, and I said this actually week 1, you'll remember, a lot of people gave Adam and Simmons a hard time after that first trade. Even if that first trade had went through, Adam wins that trade at this point. So let's just keep that in mind for the future that, not everything has to be a personal thing or, vetoed out, because it could always screw it. No matter how good it looks on paper, you could always get screwed. And that's happening to Simmons this year, if you ask me. I think Adam won that trade by an absolute landslide at this point.
Yeah, that's just huge. Such a bummer to see Steph go out this year.
Absolutely. I was really bummed. And what does that mean for Dre? I mean, CJ is a really good team, and now he's got to worry about Dre just sitting random games. But this one specifically, I'm really having trouble gauging Adam's team at this point. Like last week, he wins in the final minutes against Simmons, beat up Simmons. And then he almost beats Matt away here. So for me, he's just middle of the pack, but any kind of playoff berth that Adam can hunt down after auto-drafting his team this year, he could consider a victory. I've been impressed at least thus far.
Yeah, I would peg him like somewhere between 6 and 8 for where he's going to fall this year.
Agreed. Agreed. Like I said, he is right in that. 5's probably his ceiling, at least for the seed spot. It's still really tough out there in the East division, but we'll see how it goes. Moving on, Kyle beats Eric at home. Kyle is the home team, ends up winning 5-5-1. That's all you need. Kyle has a win. He
Who
did
would
not.
have thought?
He did not pick until the 8th round, and Kyle has a win.
Well, I will say that Eric's team is real shit.
Yeah, it's really tough. Blake is playing every other game, it seems like, and it just sucks because Kawhi's getting load managed, and Mitchell is looking absolutely awesome this year. So it's a bummer that those kind of 3 things are mixing here and making Eric not really the best. I mean, he did have to play me week 1, and you know what that means for people that have to play me. Bad news for people that have to play me.
I mean, he's still got Dennis Smith Jr. on his team for some reason.
Yeah, I would be cycling in that spot. Whiteside's an issue. Hield finally had an okay game today. He's not getting anything except points, though. I've been shocked. Dwight Howard may be in his top 5 players. I am serious about this. I will argue. I have looked. I think Dwight Howard is his 5th best player. Prove me wrong.
I can't.
I know, it's so crazy. It's so crazy. I tried to talk myself out of that today.
Would you put OG in the same conversation as Dwight?
I think his defense is inflated right now, and I think Dwight is basically what Dwight's going to be. For me, it's if Dwight can stay healthy more than anything. There's no way OG's defensive stats stay where they are, aren't they? Isn't he doing like a triple 1.5, like threes?
7 steals and 1.5 blocks.
Yeah, that just seems like a lot. If he can maintain that, then I do put him above Howard. I just think we're going to see some regression in the defensive stats from him.
Fair. I was considering picking him up, but Eric went out there and dropped $5 on him.
$5. Justin.
$5 for arguably his 5th best player.
Just insane. And there's a reason why I did those 2 matchups first. These next 4 matchups, I would like to say that I believe something has happened this week that is never going to happen again in our league's history. And this will be documented so we can always look back as well. 4 teams this week scored 2 triple doubles. All 4 of those teams lost.
Unbelievable. It doesn't make any sense.
Doesn't make any sense. Triple doubles are normally the tiebreakers here, and 4 teams in a row. So with that being said, let's get right into it. Steven beats Neiman. Neiman's the home team. He's the one with the 2 triple doubles. LeBron was big for him.
Anthony Davis was pretty good for him, too.
Anthony Davis was good, and Steven was without Trae Young for at least a little bit of the week.
Most of the week, I think.
Most of the week, and ended up winning assists by 2. So, very interesting there that he was able to still win assists with Trae Young on the bench. Man, Steven can score too. Steven, Matt, and Doug can all just put the ball in the bucket, man. I'm telling you.
Well, James Harden had that 59-point game this week, which was huge. He's just, even if he's not making shots on the field, he's just like tonight. He went 14 of 14 from the free throw line, which is just nuts.
Yeah, the Rockets Heat game. We'll get into that. I've got something a little special for you, but. Outside of that, Steven's 1-1 and Neiman are 1-1. Adam's also 1-1 and Matt is 1-1. And who was the Kyle is 1-1, Eric 0-2. Just so we have all the records as we're going through here. The next matchup is going to be Doug beating Cody. Cody with Luka, 2 triple doubles here. Doug can shoot threes. Like, there's no chance that you're going to be able to compete with Doug in threes unless you're Steven, essentially.
I mean, Cody was not far behind. He was only 4 behind.
Yeah, I agree. All right.
Holiday back.
All right, fair enough. Fair enough. I will say that Drew sitting out at the beginning of the week for Doug was big. But still... That's a lot of threes. That's a lot of threes. And also Winslow was out today, just as an added bonus.
That's a good point.
Doug.
2 doubles for Doug, and he still won.
I know. He still won 2 double-doubles, no trips, and he still beat Cody 6-5. Doug is 1-1. Cody is 1-1. You're starting to see a pattern here.
Also, Doug beat Cody without, so it probably helped Doug a lot that Cody didn't have Cat for that last game. That may have been the difference maker.
Absolutely. No, I 100% agree. Cat's shooting threes this year, so who knows what could have possibly happened. Also, steals were really close. So maybe some 3-and-D cycling from Cody here could have made the difference, but it's still early in the season. Maybe he just felt comfortable, and let's see how it goes.
Yeah.
Outside of that, like I said, both 1-1. Moving on here. Next matchup is going to be your matchup, Mr. Joel Gibson. Joel losing 5-6 to Simmons. Simmons being the home team here. Joel, 2 triple-doubles. Did Joker have both of them for you, Joel?
No, so Joker had a 10-10-10 game early in the week.
And Kyrie.
Last night.
Kyrie, man, he's been very good for you. We can say that.
We can say that. We can also say that Paul George is not back yet.
Mm-hmm.
We can also say that DeAndre Ayton is suspended.
Okay.
First pick. And we can also say Miles Turner, my second pick, suffered a high ankle sprain this week.
Agreed.
We're going through it over here.
You are certainly going through it, but in Simmons' defense here, I will say that he is also going through the injury bug. He had to give up 3 of his, I believe, 3 of his top 5 picks to get Curry, and now Curry's on the bench for the foreseeable future.
Yeah, that's true.
That's
that
a bummer.
True.
Embiid has been sitting random games. You know he's going to be load managed. Any of that bullshit about Embiid playing 70 games, fuck no. I hope you bet the under on that one. My goodness.
Yeah, I still think, and I obviously am biased, but I think if I'm healthy, I can take him down. He cycled at the end of the week.
Yeah.
I made 1 ad this week.
Joel made 1 ad. Simmons made 5 ads here. Clearly, if Ayton was in the game, rebounds is definitely a different picture. And also, PG obviously adds those 3s that you would have needed. So I can see what you're saying. Those 2 together probably get you the steals as well.
Don't forget about Turner in there. Getting a few boards himself.
Correct. Correct.
Points were very close. So, when this second round, or when this comes back around later in the season, it's going to be a different story. I guarantee it.
I agree. I think I'm really looking forward to that matchup. Both you were pretty injured this week, and the one that cycled the most won. That's it. That's what I would say. You also had triple doubles. Were victim. You, Cody, Neiman, and drum roll, please. Here we go. Next matchup is Mr. Modest, the away team, ends up beating CJ with 2 triple doubles, 6-4-1. Now, my little thing, and Joel, I'm not sure if you'll be able to see it. I'm wearing the beautiful Heat jersey. I'm wearing
I can see shit.
Yeah, I understand. I'm wearing your Heat jersey, and that's because if you watched this game earlier, you might as well have. I was not happier at all today, except for when that game was on. I am so fired up about Jimmy Buckets in a Heat uniform, Bam Adebayo, Westbrook. Come on in here, triple-double beast. We'll beat the living shit out of you. He couldn't hit the broadside of a barn today. And I actually messaged CJ earlier, and I'll say this on the league manager's note here. I messaged him and I told him good game and that I was worried today. I said the only way that I would actually stand a chance was if Russ just put up an absolute shit game. And boy, did he not let me down. That was beautiful.
Yeah, 3 of 11, 6 assists, and 7 turnovers.
Yeah.
Woo.
Yeah, that's a rough one. And they had him in, the Heat were up 30, and they had Westbrook in, the whole 4th quarter. I'm like, what the fuck is going on here? It was absolutely insane. And let me just say this. Jimmy Butler is looking absolutely vicious on the defensive end. Those 6 steals earlier this week, 4 today, That is not a joke. He is the real deal this year defensively. Just saying, in case you've never watched a Jimmy Butler game before. But my last point...
6 steals and 3. Jesus.
My last point here is both CJ and I would have beaten any other team this week. Go ahead, put our lines up. Doesn't matter. We were the 2 best teams this week playing together. 2 undefeated teams. Now only 1 remains. And I will not apologize for that. Mr. Modest. Outside of that, awesome game, CJ. I'm home team next time. Hopefully I can beat you then too. We'll see how it goes. But I am righting some wrongs from last season. Eric, fuck yourself. CJ, good game, but fuck yourself. Moving on. Moving on. We'll get right into next week unless you have something to say about how good my team's looking. Go ahead.
Not at all. Not at all. Let's go on.
All right, we'll get right into it. We've got Simmons at Matt for our first matchup. I'm going to go ahead and take Simmons here. Matt's a little flat on the big man stats. And Simmons is clearly in cycle mode. So we'll see how it goes. How about you?
I'm picking Simmons as well. He just beat me, and Matt's a false champ. So, I'm going to go with Simmons.
We love picking against Matt this year, I'm telling you. Next matchup, it's kind of boring. And I said that to you earlier. It's kind of boring next week, if I'm honest. Let's go with CJ at Neiman. Now, both of these guys can put up TDs. So it's going to be really interesting to see how this shakes out. I just don't think Neiman sticks with CJ. His big man stats are absolutely incredible. Unless Dre is out for the whole week, I think it's going to be tough for Neiman to win here. I'm going with CJ on the road.
Yeah, I'm picking CJ too. I really don't like Neiman's team. I don't like it at all.
Moving right along here, let's go Eric at Steven. Eric's in trouble here. If he loses this game, he's going to be 0-3 and the only team without a win in the league. That's not good. That's not good at all. And I think that's going to happen. Steven wins here at home.
Yeah, I agree. I have already picked Eric to not make the playoffs.
Eric is
bud.
Eric is in the bottom 4 until proven otherwise.
Until next year, I think.
And he has a long road to go. We'll see how it goes, though. Maybe Blake gets healthy and starts throwing some TDs at us. We'll see how it goes.
Nah.
Next matchup here is Doug at Adam. This one's going to be actually very interesting, especially in the East. I think we're going to find out a lot about Adam's team in general. For me, I think it's tough. This one is really tough. I'm going to go with Doug, though.
I'm going to go with Doug, too. I think that Conley and Chris Paul have just been a little bit too cold for me to pick Adam's team.
Agreed. I think that Doug has a better core set of guards, and Doug's a guard-heavy team at this point. So that's why I'm going with Doug here. Last 2 matchups here. We'll start with Cody at Joel. Both of you had 2 triple-doubles last week. Both of you lost. I'm going to go with Cody here. I like Cody a little bit more than your suspended Ayton, injured PG, injured Turner. I could keep going. A note here, and a very interesting note, is going to be the whole Sabonis versus Turner thing. Does either play? Do they play together? What's going on with those two?
Well, hopefully. I mean, I would just be fine if neither of them play.
Okay.
Let's just cancel these fuckers out. And we'll just go at it.
Do we have one more suspension for Cat? One suspended game early for...
We have one suspended game for Cat, and I intend to take full advantage of it, best believe.
That's really interesting, especially with Ayton on your bench as well. There's a lot of different things here. I am going to go Cody, though. I think that he is just going to be able to put together enough with your suspension, and I think he's going to cycle more than you would as well. So that's my pick here.
Well, Cody, if you're listening, if you're going to cycle, just know that you have to spend heavy this week. I'm talking no less than like $6 an ad, because I'm coming for you. Maybe I'm bluffing. Maybe I'm not. But I think you spend money all the same.
We'll see how it goes. Joel applying the hey, I'm going to cycle strategy, just like Mr. Modest did last week, and it worked out beautifully for that fella. Moving on in the last matchup here, we're going to go with Kyle at Mr. Modest. Mr. Modest is the only undefeated team after week 2. 2-0 gets it done. At the end of next week, it'll be 3-0. Will it even be close? Will Modest have to play anybody Saturday and Sunday? We'll find out.
Well, tell you what, I think that you are going to take this matchup as well.
Mm-hmm.
But come November 25th through December 1st, that's when your first Aspian's going to come.
All right.
Double the playing field.
You
That's
think
what
I'm just a
for
clear
you.
shot undefeated until I get to you? Is that what you're saying?
Well, I think Steven has a chance against you next week, but
I was just gonna say week 4, Steven. That's gonna be a really interesting game. And I'll say right now, a week early, that matchup's gonna come down to assists. At the end of the day, that matchup's gonna come down to assists. Steven, start planning now because I want your best, big fella. All right. I'm taking myself here. What about you?
Yeah, I'm picking you as well.
Okay, just wanted that for the record. Yeah.
Well, it looks like you drafted your team in the 9th round, not the 8th. It's rough.
Yeah, and the last thing I'll say, I'm clearly very excited about my team thus far. But I will say that defense wins championships. And boy, howdy, do I have that in spades. Nobody is touching me in either defensive category. I don't care. Bring it on down. Defensive categories, both of them, I'm winning every week. Chalk it up.
I'm ready for you. Paul George and Miles Turner throw up a lot of defensive stats, my friend.
All right, we'll see if they're healthy come Thanksgiving.
We will.
Outside of that, great week. I literally, the whole day today, I have no nails left. I was biting them so much. I was very nervous. The whole day. Again, shout out to CJ. Good matchup. Anything else from you, Joel?
Good week, Simmons. I'll get you next time.
Yep. Outside of that, I don't really think we have too much else to talk about.
Yeah, I think that's it.
Yeah, that is it. Boy, we got through that week. Not a lot of trading going on. Some people spending money, other people not. That's it. I'm just rambling at this point.
All right. Well, let's call it then.
All right, let's call it. We'll see you guys. Good luck this week, and we'll see you next Sunday. Later.
Yeah.